is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Bunsa's Bucket List podcast, a show that brings you everything basketball. As always, I'm your host, Shea and O'Reilly, and I'm once again joined by my co-host and big brother, Callaghan. We are so excited to be back and bring you guys another banger of an episode. Cal, how are you doing today?
What's up, Shay? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Excited to be back on the show with you. Excited to get today's episode started. Without further ado, why don't you let us know what you have in store for us today?
Yeah, we have a great episode planned for today. First, I want to talk about the NBA in-season tournament, which just wrapped up. Second, I want to quickly give a shout out to some of our favorite college teams that they are starting up their NCAA season. Lastly, we have a brand new segment coming to the podcast, so make sure to stick around to the end of the episode to find out what it is. Cal, how about you give us a quick recap on how the in-season tournament finished?
Yeah, of course. So, in-season tournament just wrapped up on Saturday. Today is Monday. Los Angeles Lakers faced off against Indiana Pacers in the first ever in-season tournament championship. It's an exciting back and forth game through the first three quarters until the Lakers pretty much took over during the home stretch, winning by a commanding lead, final of 123 to 109. While Austin Reeves had a hot 20-point first half that kept the Lakers within striking range, it was a combination of LeBron's 24 points and Anthony Davis's dominant 41 and 20 that put the nail in the coffin for the Pacers at the end of the day. I also want to give a special shout out to Cam Reddish, whose activity on the defensive end of the floor, trying to muffle an extremely hot Tyrese Halliburton all game. Who's been playing fantastic, and Cam Reddish just did an amazing job guarding him and making it tough for him all game. So congrats to LeBron and the Lakers for their victory. Shay, now that we have the first inaugural in-season tournament over, what surprised you the most about it?
I think it was all the new court designs they did for throughout the whole league. I mean, it's crazy to see like what kind of new color courts they're doing for a tournament that just started this year and the NBA is just now having. So yeah, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, I think it was a surprise for sure to see those courts for the first time. I liked them, but I think they were kind of hard to look at after a while. I think maybe next year they'll go with a little bit less color. Maybe just inside the paint, just inside the arc area or something like that. Seemed a little bit busy and hard to look at the TV screen for too long, but I did like that it was different. To me, the most surprising thing was how competitive it was. The whole tournament pretty much felt like playoff games. The environments were amazing. The teams were playing really hard. And I think the NBA did a really good job of incentivizing those players to play really hard for that. And I was excited. I'm happy with it overall. I think it was a good turnout, and I'm sure they'll, sharpen up some things for next year and hopefully bring it back. All right, so LeBron James was announced in-season tournament MVP, adding to an ever-growing list of accolades and achievements that he's earned over his 20-year span in the league. At 40 years old, and the oldest active player in the NBA, what do you think allows him to continue to dominate at an elite level even so late into his career?
Yeah, great question there. For me, just to watch him play at the age of 40 years old that's why he's one of my favorite guys to watch. He's an absolute Hall of Famer in my opinion, and he's just continuing to, be in that level of basketball mind that he is. But it's awesome. It's crazy to think that he's been in this league forever at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've seen this guy grow up before our eyes. Came into the league at 16, and he's 18, and he's basically shined ever since. He's gotten better and better each year, which is amazing. Somehow, at 40 years old, he still looks like the LeBron he did. He's obviously lost a couple steps, but he's gained what he's lost in athleticism. He's gained in intellectual ability and IQ, and he really, you can watch him pick apart the games now, and it's a pleasure to watch. It's been amazing.
All right, well, that's enough about the new in-season tournament. Now, let's talk about the college basketball season tipping off. Cal, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, thanks, Shea. This is one of my absolute favorite times of the year. We got NBA season in full swing. NCAA season is getting started. There are so many amazing basketball games to consume each day. We've been lucky enough to check out a few of our local college teams play already and are stoked to see some more throughout the season. We had the pleasure of getting to see St. Edward's play against University of Texas at the new Moody Center in a fun, friendly match, little exhibition game. It was pretty fun. It kept us all in our seats. Shea, what was your favorite part about going to that game?
This is the competitive side on two teams that didn't really play each other in the actual season,
Mm-hmm.
but and to see like friends compete against each other is really like it's fun to watch that. And it's really fun to watch how competitive they are to win that game. So I think that's really awesome, and I can't wait to watch them more.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun game all throughout. St. Ed's gave UT a little bit of scare in the first half, but then UT pulled away and had a commanding lead by the time the game was over. But it was a fun one. I think if you haven't gone to the new Moody Center to check out a game or some type of event there, you have to. It's an amazing place. It's very quaint. I don't think there's a bad seat in the house. It's a great environment, and everyone's packed in there, and it's a really cool facility. So if you haven't gone to check that out, you got to go see some UT games or something like that.
Before we sign off for the day, we have a new segment that we are going to be adding to the podcast. It's called the Bunsa's Bucket List. Each week we will have a closing question that relates to something I want to check off my bucket list. Today we are picking our top 5 dinner guests, dead or alive. Cal, why don't you start us off?
That's a fantastic question, Shay. This is one I had to give tons of thought. And even after picking my 5, I'm sure I could go back and pick another 5 any other day and be happy with that. But after lots of internal debate, these are my top 5 dinner guests who I would want at the dinner table with me. So first off, I got to go with the GOAT himself, LeBron James. We've talked about him a bunch. You guys are going to hear us talk about him again. So many things that this guy's done for the game of basketball. I would just love to be able to pick his brain. See what that pressure was like, being 18 and having, all the eyes in the world watching you, and just continue to prove everyone that he's, the great player that he is, and a great man off the court as well. So I think LeBron will be a great one. Next up, I got Martin Luther King Jr. I don't need to say much about that one. Obviously, he did amazing things, and he was just an inspiration to so many. I think it would be pretty cool to get to pick his brain and just kind of hear some stories from him. Next up, I got to keep it a little bit lighter. We got my man Will Ferrell. I think he's has some of the most comedic, or some of the best comedic performances in television. I love being able to just laugh, and his goofiness rubs off, and I appreciate it. Next up, I'm a big reader. I love fiction books. So Stephen King has to be one that I bring to the table. Talk about someone with the craziest imagination that you can even think of. Be cool to be able to step in a room with him and see what his mind works like when he's writing a book. And then last, I have another GOAT, this time of golf, none other than Tiger Woods. Nothing needs to be said about that one. But Shea, those are my 5 dinner guests. How about you? Who do you have coming to your table?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Cal. These are my top 5 dinner guests. Firstly, this is one of my favorite role models to watch in a game of basketball. I'm going to go with my guy, Stephen Curry. I mean, we've seen what he did in that New York stadium. And now he just stands alone for everyone to try and catch up to him. So I would love for him to come and have dinner with me because, we talk all things basketball, Obviously, I'm going to have to go with this one as well. Hall of Famer. It's really unfortunate that he passed away, but my guy, Kobe Bryant, I mean, well, I would love to know what Mamba mentality really means and how he approached every game and just, like I said, talk all things basketball again.
Yep.
And this is one of my funniest guys ever. His name is Tyrese Gibson. He plays the role of Rome in all the Fast and Furious franchise. And he's probably the funniest guy, in my opinion, in the show. So it's awesome to watch him see, and how well he did with that franchise. And being a big Friends guy, big Friends guy. I watch it every night.
Huge Friends guy.
I'm a huge fan of Matthew Perry. Again, another tragic loss in his past, but Matthew Perry's my guy, and just how his role was as Chandler Bing was, well, just laughter always came to me. But, yeah. My last and final favorite guy that I've watched in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we all know him. My guy, Will Smith. I mean, talk about just The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's all based off of him. And I think that was really awesome to see that and how funny he really is in the show and off the show. And the other reason why he's one of my favorite guys to and have him come down to have a meal with me. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, I like that. Will Smith's one of my favorite actors too.
Well, that's all we have for today's episode of the Bunsa Bucket List podcast. Thanks to everyone for joining us today and showing your support. We hope you enjoyed episode 8. Also, go check out our new t-shirts on our Instagram and grab it while you still can.
All right, thanks everyone. If you haven't already, make sure you go smash that subscribe button on the podcast, Spotify, and YouTube at Bunsa's Bucket List. Thanks again, and we'll see y'all next time.